Hi guys. So this happens all the time where a policy is put in place or a law is passed and the goal or aim of this policy is a good one. And then in the implementation, however this happens, something goes horribly, horribly wrong. And I'll give an example that I came across today, and I'd love to know what you think about it. So here in the state of California, it's mandated by law, and this is a new law, that every first-year college student or new transfer student completes an online training about preventing gender-based violence and sexual assault. And I remember when this law was being passed, and I remember that they were debating it, and I supported it. I still support it. I think that the goal of this law is good, and I think that in general, this is a great thing to do. So let's do it, right? Let's get started. So I go online, and I'm going to fill out, I'm going to, sign up. I have to sign up for this external site where the training itself is housed. And I go online, there's this mandatory form that I have to fill out, and on it there is a required question. It says gender. And there's a little drop-down box, and I click the drop-down box. And there are three options. One is male, one is female, and the other is unspecified. Unspecified. So beyond that, right below this, there's a little checkbox, and if you click it, it says transgender. And so I'm sitting there, I'm thinking, how do I fill this out? How does this work? So what are they asking? Because they're asking gender, right? So my gender that I identify as is female. So I put female. And then I am a transgender female. So I click transgender, but how do they know that I was assigned male at birth and now identify as a woman? How do they determine that that's what I'm intending to put, as opposed to thinking that I was assigned female at birth and am now a transgender man? Like, there's no way with this form, the way it is, to ascertain which way I'm going or how I identify now versus how I was assigned at birth. And there are actual real ways that are proven of ascertaining this information. You just ask a two-stage gender question. You ask sex assigned at birth. For me, that's male. Click. And then current gender identity. For me, that's female. Click. Right there, I don't even have to put down that I'm transgender. You can just tell from the form. So it's a problem, right? So immediately upon signing in and sort of hitting this, question number 2, and just like not knowing how to proceed, I write an email to the staff member at my college who is implementing this training. And I say, could you please advise me on how I should fill out this form? Here's how I identify, and here are the options on the form, and I'm very confused about what I'm supposed to put and how they're gonna tell how I identify and all this. And I get this email back, and here's what it says. It says, there are 3 options for gender: male, female, and unspecified. Just choose the one that feels most appropriate to you. Okay, so females feels the most appropriate to me, and I'm also transgender, so then we're back to that whole checkbox and how that means absolutely nothing. So here's an example where a policy idea, a law that is being put into place, has a wonderful goal. Its purpose is to prevent sexual assault and gender-based violence, and I support that. I support that. But the implementation of this law is incredibly problematic. Here, me and any other first-year or transfer student in the state of California who happens to be transgender, and there are a lot of us, has to fill out this form. Question number 2. So where are they housing this information? They don't say. Who's looking at this information? Who has access to this information? Why is it mandatory that they're asking whether or not I'm transgender? What if I'm deep stealth? How do I answer this question? The way that they're going about it is problematic. And so my response is that I will not be completing this mandatory sexual assault prevention training that is mandated by the state of California. I will not be doing it. And I don't know what that's going to mean for me. I don't know what sort of tools the school has to force me to do this. I don't know what the state can do to force me into it. All I know is that I don't feel comfortable answering the question as it currently stands. And without that comfort, I'm not going to be in a place where I can complete this training. So I feel a little silly making a stink about this, right? So on the one hand, it could be worse. It could be worse. They could just have male and female. They could not even recognize any other forms of gender. It could be way worse, is what I'm saying. But at the same time, it could be way better. It could be way better. It's not an unknown fact that transgender people are assaulted, are victims all the time of gender-based violence. It is a fact that that happens. Just this year, the same legislative body that passed this law passed a transgender students protection bill. They understand this. So why are they creating a space where I feel uncomfortable? If they can't even get this question right, how are they supposed to be expected to present a curriculum that is supposed to reduce gender-based violence, that is transgender competent, transgender inclusive? They can't. From the get-go, they are getting it wrong. And I won't be a part of it. So that's where I stand. That's where I'm taking my stand. I don't know where it's going to go, but I wanted to share that experience with you and let you know that even though we're getting closer, things are getting better, we still have a long way to go. We still have a long way to go. So please let me know what you think down in the comments below. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Anyway, thanks for listening, you guys. I'll see you later.